standing at a church?
It's my church.
Is it in this life or another life?
Another life.
Say it again.
Another life.
Okay. Is it a big church, little church?
It's a small church. A village. Portugal.
Okay. Oh, okay. And what about you as you look down? What do you see? Are you wearing shoes? No shoes?
I have sandals, and my robe is torn.
And we're having difficulty with the audio. So you have sandals on, and then what did you say?
My robe is torn.
Okay. What color robe is it?
Like off-white.
Okay. And why are you wearing a robe?
I'm a
Is that
vicar.
Okay. Any idea how your robe got torn?
The mob did it.
Ah. Is the mob still there, or are you alone?
I'm alone. I ran from them. I'm hiding.
And do you feel male or female?
Male.
Old, young, in the middle?
I'm young.
Okay. Healthy or unhealthy?
Healthy.
Okay. And you have sandals on and your robe is torn. Let's rewind just a little bit to just before the mob came and tore your robe. So take me back a little bit in time to just before the mob showed up. What were you doing? And then what happened when the mob showed up? Can you describe that for me?
I was embarrassed. Antonio, Father Antonio, he made fun of me in front of everyone. And I waited. I was seething with anger and I waited. And I choked him. And I didn't mean to choke him till he died, but I did. And then I ran. And they screamed. And I ran. Now
Where'd
they
you run
hate
to?
me. I hid behind the trees, under the rocks.
Oh, so did others see you when you choked Father Antonio?
No, one did. Someone has seen me. Someone
Okay.
screamed.
And they knew you did it, and so they came after you?
Yes, they knew I did it.
Oh.
I was crying. I was screaming for him to wake up and for God to forgive me. To forgive me. I didn't mean to. I was just so mad. I felt so betrayed.
And so how many people approximately came after you?
16 to 20.
Okay. Were you hurt?
I was scraped up, but they took me back.
They found you?
They did. They found me.
And what happened next?
They hung me.
Right then and there or at a later time?
Right then and there.
Okay.
Mm,
So tell me, just before you get hung, what's going through your mind?
I'm so sad. I didn't mean to. I'm wondering if God will forgive me.
Ah,
Wondering if they will forgive me.
mm. So they were very much a life for a life, huh?
Yes.
Do you feel like you have any peace before the act actually takes place, or do you still die sad and regretful?
I know it's coming. So I own it. That's all I remember.
Mm. Okay, now take me forward to the moment just after you take your last breath, just after they hung you. And you're looking down at the scene. So just freeze there for a little bit. You're looking down at the scene. What are you thinking, seeing, and feeling right then after you're out of the body?
How did I fit in there?
Mm-hmm. What else?
I don't feel heavy.
Do you still feel full of regret and sadness, or has that lifted?
I still feel some, but it's mostly lifted.
Okay. And so what do they do with the body?
Throw rocks at it, hit it, cut it, pierce it,
Mm.
stone it, drag it through
And
town.
uh, sounds like they had a lot of anger too, right?
Yes.
Is it almost like your anger of doing the act that you did kind of intensified and spread and caused even more anger, like anger begot anger?
Yes.
Do you hang around very long or do you head out of there or what do you do next?
I kind of watch, and then Father Antonio comes, and we go up.
Mm. How do you feel when you see Father Antonio?
Happy.
He's not angry, is he?
No.
And you both go up together?
Yes.
And then what happens? Where do you go next?
Then we go up, and he has to go one place, and I have to go another.
Okay. Any idea why?
We have our review.
Okay. And tell me about your review or what happens next.
I go in a room, and there's a bunch of desk-like things around me.
Did you say
And
desk-like things?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I stand in the middle, and we talk, but it's through our minds.
And who's we?
Me and the council elders.
About how many?
More than 8.
Can you kind of get a visual of what any of them look like and describe any of the council elders? Do they have human features, non-human features? Like, are they just balls of energy? What can you tell me about the council members?
Some are balls of energy, and there's one, she's beautiful. She walked in, so she's about 8 or 9 foot tall, and she's blue, and she's from another dimension, but I feel closest to her. And others are, some are human-like, with, like, there's a tall, blonde gentleman, and he's radiant from inside. He glows. And we're discussing that lifetime. I wasn't supposed to be angry like that, but I did.
Is there any judgment? I'm sorry, go ahead.
They're not mad at me. There's no judgment, only what I feel, that I did right or wrong. But I feel all of the pain that I caused others tenfold in a single second. But I also feel all the love that I gave and the hope and the joy that I gave to others as well.
Okay.
And they asked me what I would do different. And I'm told I have to go back. I have to pick another one.
So what happens next then? What's the very next thing that happens?
Then
do you leave from the council?
Then I go on my way. And I have to go down the hallway and into, looks like a village. And I know I'm home. This is where I go. And I find my place. And I have a very small room. And then I rest. And then I meet up with others later.
What's in this really small room? What does it look like?
It is blue and gray. And I have there's like little slots in the wall for things to go in. And there's like a memory, like a counter or something. I don't know what it is supposed to be, but I know what it is. And I just get to upload my life that I last spent in there. And then there's like a screen that shows different parts that I've completed and things that I've learned and pieces that are like leaving because I did something I wasn't supposed to, that I have to go back and do again. And it's a giant globe. It's gold.
It's a giant globe? Okay.
Globe. And it's gold. Looks kind of like an old compass. I don't know how to describe it.
Mm-hmm. And
But
that's where you upload the memories?
upload, yes. And when you're all done, it forms this master, beautiful globe. And then if you do something you're not supposed to, it just takes parts away, and it looks kind of digitally in that spot. So you knew better, but you didn't do better.
Hmm.
But I know that's what we're supposed to do, because that's the only way we're supposed to learn, is through our emotions, and that's what we're supposed to learn through, because that's the best way to learn. But that one is blinking, so I know that I let my emotions get the best of me in that life.
So in other words, you're just kind of laying in this room or staying in this room and just doing a lot of introspection?
Yeah, I have to figure it out. I have to work out the plan of what I want to do, and I have to take it back to the council for their approval.
Oh.
And then I have to pick out a new scenario I have to go through where I can learn a new aspect of the same lesson, so that I learn at a deeper level.
So what happens when you go back to the council?
We discuss what we're going to do and who's going to go this time, when we're going to meet up.
So are there other souls there then?
Yes, they eventually come after it gets approved.
Okay. So
They had to modify it.
They had to modify it?
They had to modify it.
Ah. So let me
They
ask you
wanted,
this. I'm sorry, please go ahead.
they wanted to do different things.
Ah. And related to that,
Yeah.
in the sense that you did not ultimately get to completely choose your next life all on your own. You had the council helping you. Would you say that there really is no such thing as free will? Free will?
No, I wouldn't say that. We do have
Okay.
free will. We do have free will.
How
But
so?
everything has to flow. Everything ebbs and flows. You have to learn all aspects of every angle, in every emotion. You will be the killer. You will be the one killed. You will be the one who finds the body. You will be the one who hides the body. You have to learn through all of the pain, through all of every emotion is going to teach you a different aspect. I could have been finished with my globe, so I was disappointed in me. But we do have free will.
Okay. So once the plan is approved, tell me what it's like to meet with other souls to kind of hash out the roles.
Yeah, it's actually fun, like a brainstorming session. And we sit around, and there's about 25 of us. And we sit around, and I have to learn what it's like to lose somebody on a different level. So they get to pick how I get to lose them and what happens there. And others come in and say, you'll know you're on the right path when you see me.
Ah. It does sound fun.
It was fun.
What else do you remember about it? Do you remember anyone specifically or any specific roles you discussed?
Yes. I remember my father, and I had to be his friend who betrayed him because I was greedy and I wanted to go find gold. And I actually lied to him and told him that we would be back. His wife was expecting, and I said we would be back. But I knew we weren't coming back because I wasn't going to stop until I found what I wanted. And in that lifetime, we crashed the boat into the rocks, but him and I made it off the rocks, and then we were killed by natives with blow darts. And then I got in trouble for that. Then he had to come back, and he was stabbed. He was stabbed when he was 18, but this is kind of like not usual, but what I did is I jumped in his body so that he would live. So my soul jumped in and died or went to heaven again, and he woke up in the morgue and he was back in his body. And then I had to be his child so that I could see how he suffered and wanted a family. I got a front row view. That's this lifetime.
Ah.
I got to see what he was willing to sacrifice to have a family.
Ah. So hold on, just let's go back just a little bit and we can work our way up. You said he was stabbed when he was 18, but you jumped in his body so he would live. So your soul jumped in and you died and went to heaven again, but he woke up in the morgue and he was back in his body. So you just temporarily went in as like a placeholder?
Yes, and that was how I paid him back for when I lied to him and took him away from his family.
Ah. So you were only in there for a little bit in his body?
Yes, and I actually, it was right before he got stabbed. He took a breath in, and I went in, and then I actually took it. I got stabbed, not him. He didn't feel it. So then, when he woke up in the morgue, I was already gone, and he went back in his body.
Ah. Wow. Was the council okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Because you paid back that karma?
Yes.
Okay.
Some souls are allowed to do that, and other souls, they go teach people forgiveness when they had come in with childhood diseases. They teach everyone love and forgiveness and self-sacrifice. And so that was kind of a special thing that I was able to do instead of being a child with a disease. I just said, why don't I just do this? And they said, okay.
Okay. And so now you said that same soul was your father in this lifetime, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what do you think about that? What was he kind of thinking about then? Any other observations about that, or why he chose your mother as his wife?
Yes. Because that was part of what he wanted to show me, is he would be tolerant of anything just to have a family. And it taught him and I how to be patient and how to keep the sunshine in your heart no matter what's happening.
Do you remember your mother in this lifetime being in that planning session with you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she was in there, and she actually volunteered to be my mother, and she volunteered to lower her vibration. She kind of was hesitant in the beginning to lower her vibration to that level. But in order for her to learn that aspect of it, she had to.
Mm. And you were okay, or how did you react when you learned how she was going to be?
I said, I'm up for it. Let's go.
So she was nothing like her human self up in the spirit realm?
No, not at all. Not at all. We all put on different masks, basically, and we all play different roles. We all kind of play out the parts. She was really good at hers.
Should give her a standing ovation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what else do you remember happening without coming into this life? Anything else that you remember? Any observations that you have about being up in between lives and in the spirit realm?
Yes, I remember school, or what I think of as school, where you go in and there's like a library and everybody's got their own book, and there's all kinds of teachers and specialties and just anything you can think of. And, you have like master teachers helping you to develop these certain aspects of yourself, to be expert in those levels when you come here. And before you incarnate, you have to, go and do that.
Everyone?
Yeah, everyone.
Okay. So it's
Yes.
like studying the lessons you want to learn?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And there's
Okay.
areas to play also. Like there's things that you want to do, like art, and there's like soccer fields and so many different things that you can do and study and be.
So some of
There's
them
even
might be
different
studying, I'm sorry, go ahead.
there's even different dimensions and different areas you can go.
So some are studying to live in different dimensions.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. And sometimes you just automatically can go there.
So why did you choose Earth? Do you know?
Yes. I have to help this time. It is the quickest way to grow as a soul because you have to be the emotion that you want to learn. In some essence, you are living in that emotion. So you become expert at it. How else can you be expert? By living it, acting it out, letting it play out.
So you said there were soccer fields and art, and so are some people up there studying to like be a professional soccer player?
Yes.
Ah. So do you remember any specific lessons that you were learning up there?
Yes. I was
What was
learning
that?
patience, forgiveness, and gratitude. I also have to be a healer
And why do you say you have to be a healer?
because I love it. It's part of what I am.
So were you studying how to be a healer up there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember going to the library, the Akashic Library, and downloading into your, I guess I'll say consciousness, any lives of any other healers, lives that maybe you didn't live, but that others lived, so you could have that knowledge as a base? Or did you not do that, or you don't remember?
I know that I did, and I know that it's kind of simultaneous, like you can live many lives at once in different dimensions. So I downloaded one of my previous lives in the Andromeda galaxy. And I can heal people by their auras, by just thinking it and watching it change color.
So that was something she knew how to do from Andromeda?
Yes.
Okay. So, but to make sure I'm clear, you did download lives that you didn't necessarily live, but that other people live, but that could help you in becoming a healer down here, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's perfectly fine to do that, right?
Yes.
Because other people, can they download your lessons into their consciousness to help them in lives?
Yes.
Okay. So can you go, let's say, back in time, so to speak? So let's say you wanted to go back and live in ancient Greece after you've already been alive in 1940, and you want to go back and have a life now in ancient Greece. Is that possible? If you go, oh,
Yes.
I think I'd learn that one best in ancient Greece. I'm sorry, you said it is possible?
Yes.
Okay. Any other observations that you can think of or remember? Or does that pretty much sum up everything you can think of?
There's so many colors there. I don't even know if there's names for them all. Everything is so vibrant. And I love being there.
So how do you know when it's time to go?
Well, we have built-in checkout points, I guess you would say. So we have a definite beginning and a definite end, but we build in checkout points where if we've had enough or we're done at that point, we can go, and we do have that option.
Do you normally build in more than one checkout point?
Yes, yes. Kind of like an escape route, like a map. Like
with an escape tunnel?
Mm-hmm.
And do you get to pick those, or does that have to be approved by the council?
They are approved by the council, and we do get to pick them.
Okay. But can they override you?
Well, if it doesn't go through, then obviously that happens. But
Okay.
yeah, sometimes.
Okay. And so does it feel like a pulling on you when you know it's time to go? I mean, go down to your next life. How do you know when it's time to go to the next life?
There's a room you wait in, and you look, and it's kind of like the cloud. You look down, and you can see. You can kind of hone in on it. It looks like the people that you want to see. Like if it's almost time for them to, become with child, you kind of look and you wait, and then if you want to go, then it's time to go. And then you just go down.
What does it feel like to go down? Do you feel like you shrink? Do you feel like you go fast, slow, it's floaty? What does it feel like?
It's like a tunnel, and it's like you're going down a slide super fast. You're being sucked down a straw. And then you're in there really fast, but it feels like in a flash, in an instant. And then you're just there. And you remember everything until you're about a year and a half old. And you try to express it, and you try to get out everything you can, but you can't. You can't even barely hold your head up.
So when you came down here and you found yourself being sucked down that straw into your mother's womb, what did you feel any of her emotions and feelings when you were in the womb or right after you came out? Or tell me about that.
I had to be in her womb. I had to be awake in her womb because I had to match her vibrationally in order for myself to stay in the womb. So I could hear everything, feel everything, be one with her vibrations. And then when I was born, I shed her vibrations and had my own.
Did it feel really dense being in the womb and feeling her vibration because you said she was such a low frequency?
Yes.
So were you glad to come out?
Yes, I was glad. It was good to come out. It was good to just be.
So what did you think or feel the first time she held you?
Grateful that I had made it.
Did you feel any kind of warm feelings from her to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she was happy. She was happy I was there. She had wanted me. She had tried for 5 years to have another child after.
Okay. Okay. Any other observations or should we move on?
We can move on.
Okay, so let's do this. I want you to drift and float away from that. Do I have permission to ask questions of Mrs. Smith's higher self?
Yeah.
I know the higher self could have brought forth many different lifetimes for Mrs. Smith to see today. And you chose to bring forth that lifetime where she was a he and was a younger boy, younger man, who ended up choking the priest, Father Antonio, to death in a raging fit of anger. What was the reason that you showed her that life?
She needed to know why her current life is playing out, and she needed to understand all aspects, and she was still holding on to parts of that shame and guilt.
So she came here in this lifetime to resolve the shame and guilt from that past life?
Yes.
How is she doing on that?
Good.
Does she have any loose ends she needs to wrap up in that regard?
She's learning how to fully let go.
And she's still learning that lesson?
Yes.
Okay. What can she do to completely master that lesson of letting go?
Trust.
Can you expand on what you mean by trust? Trust in who or what?
Trust that everything is playing out according to plan. She tends to get ahead of herself.
Mm-hmm. Does she have any other lessons from any past lives or that one that she wanted to resolve in this lifetime?
Yes,
What would that be?
she wanted to learn tolerance. She wanted very much to fulfill her destiny, to help mankind.
Anything else, or does that summarize all the lessons from other lives that she wanted to kind of come here and deal with in this lifetime?
That summarizes it.
Okay. So what did she plan before she came here that she would do to fulfill her destiny of helping mankind?
She would awaken others. She would utilize her abilities, talents, and gifts and heal in many ways.
Has she had past lives as a healer?
Yes,
Okay. Is there anything she learned from those past lives as a healer that would benefit her to know in this lifetime to help her with her destiny that you could energetically connect her to that wisdom and to that knowledge?
yes.
Could you do that now for her? Like build that bridge, that connection, and tell us what that looks like?
I am showing her Jesus, and I am asking Jesus to tell her, remember that they hated me first. She understands this.
Mm-hmm. And that's a parallel to her family hating her, right?
Yes,
Can we have Jesus give her a hug to comfort her and give her the love she is not receiving from her family?
yes.
Did she like that?
She loves it.
Mm-hmm. Given the abuse that she experienced from her mother and other childhood traumas that she's had, is she holding any trapped emotions from that anywhere in her body? And if yes, what is she holding and where is she holding it?
Yes, she is holding it. And
Uh-huh.
it is behind her heart.
What is she holding that's behind her heart?
The feeling of unworthiness.
Oh, okay. Okay. Would it benefit her to have you download creators? Well, let's start in order. Would it benefit her to have you download creator's definition of self-love into her? Would that benefit her?
Yes.
Could you do that for her now and tell us what that looks like as you download that into her?
Yes, I am downloading that message of creator's love and self-love into her. And I am filling her with a golden rose of white light in her heart, taking out any shadows, any grief, any pain, any feeling of unworthiness, so that her pure light and love can show from inside out and be a reflection of the one love that we all are.
Mm. Is that finished or should we wait?
It is finished.
Would it also benefit her to have you download the program into her of, I know what it feels like to fully love myself?
Yes.
What does it look like to download that program of, I know what it feels like to fully love myself?
It looks like ribbons coming down, bright blue light, just these ribbons, just all around her, embracing her, holding her so tight, just enveloping her with the love that she so longed for as a child.
Mm.
And she's being filled completely in every bone, every muscle, every cell, every organ with this peace and this joy and this beautiful self-love. It is never ending. It is done.
Okay. Would it also benefit her to have you download the program into her of, I know how to love myself completely?
No, it is
No?
no longer necessary.
Okay. So what are some things she can do in her daily life to increase her self-love?
Smile more. Laugh things off. Not take things so seriously. Take a rest when you need to. More walks in the sunshine.
Anything else?
Yes, taking care of her human body.
How does taking care of our human body show ourselves love?
Our cells will reproduce more healthily, when we make better choices, when it comes to not only what we eat, but how we eat, including the quality of what we're eating and being aware of what you're eating and having gratitude.
Would it also benefit her to have you download Creator's definition of worthiness into her and tell us what that looks like?
Yes.
Okay.
And what that looks like are sparks of energy coming into her in a stream, like a rainbow, all at once, filling her with different colors of sparks, starting at her feet and going up and up and up, filling her so full of these sparks of self-worthiness and love. They're overflowing all around her. It is done.
Okay. With this question, tell me if it's not possible because it would have interfered with her lessons and experiences. But you said you filled her up with sparks of self-worthiness that were overflowing all around her. Is it possible to gather some of those sparks that were overflowing all around her, multiply them, and go back in time, so to speak, and embed them into her as a little girl? So she had those in the environment she was growing up in, maybe put them into some kind of jewel, the energy from that into like some kind of jewel and plant it in her heart. Could we do something like that?
Yes.
Could you tell me what that looks like?
Yes. All of them that were overflowed, that are still sparkling, and they never fell to the floor. They just were in her aura. So we have taken them with like a vacuum, and we have picked up any extras from her aura, and we're taking universal light, love, and energy, and we're melding it into a key, and we're putting that key into her heart, and on it there is a garnet jewel. And it is there, and we're giving it to her at age 3. It is done.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Does she need this one? Maybe not, but you can tell me. Would it benefit her to have you download the program into her of, I know what it feels like to be worthy?
It will not benefit her.
Okay. So what would it take, or what healing does she need in order, if any, in order to move forward in her life without carrying the trauma of her past with her?
She doesn't need anything. Everything is already within her. She just has to reach it.
Okay. How does she reach it?
By asking.
Asking who?
She will meditate on it, and I will give it to her.
Is that true for most people who carry trauma?
Yes.
It's just as simple as asking and then what? Believing?
Knowing that it will be removed. It is only in the mind, and from the mind it infects the body. Once you ask with your mind and you consciously meditate on it, it will surface and it will easily fade away. Just like your breath.
Okay. Is there any unresolved karma between her and either of her parents, particularly her mother, that she can learn about now?
She knows that she actually removed it herself. She just doesn't remember. She thought it was a dream. In the dream, her mother kept sending her hateful looks over and over and over. And she kept sending her back. She sent her mother love, washing away all karma, all hate, all evil, all ignorance, all anger was washed completely away in that moment. She's already done it.
And is there any karma existing between her and her father?
No, they are done with their karma.
Okay. And Father Antonio, that she killed in that past life by choking him to death, is his soul a character in anyone in her life in this lifetime?
Yes.
Who is that?
Andrew.
Her son.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about that story. Is that why he ended up passing in this lifetime and she had to feel that sadness and heal from that sadness? Or what can you tell me about their pre-birth plan together?
Well, when that was set up, he came and volunteered for the part so that she would be done with that karma completely. She didn't want that to play out that way, but that's how it had to play out in order to get the lesson from every aspect. And the pain would open her heart, it would break it open. And she would be aware of the loss and the grief and the love at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So, is she fully healed from losing her son in this life, from the emotion and the pain?
No.
Okay. What is she holding on to?
The humanness, believing that her son is gone. And she feels that it may be her fault. She does feel it's her fault.
Mm. Is that a true belief or an untrue belief?
It's an untrue belief because it's just something she holds on to, part of a story she tells.
Does she want to let go of that untrue belief?
She feels that if she does, she will not have anything to hold on to, just like him.
Mm. Is it going to impact her in any way if she dies with that belief? Like
Yes.
impact her in future lives in any way?
It could cause trauma, could reel back that karma, that sadness, that feeling. We don't want that.
Mm. So what does she have to do to release that belief?
She needs to unpack all of her son's physical things and go through them and really grieve.
It sounds really painful. Is that why she hasn't done it?
She does it and then she doesn't. She tries to do bits and pieces, but she just needs to finish it.
Mm. And then she'll be able to let go of that belief?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any other trauma or trapped emotions she's holding on to as a result of that?
Some guilt.
Or is she holding that guilt?
In her gut.
Okay. Is she ready to release it?
Yes.
Are you able to pull it now, send it to Creator's light, and replace it instead with the energy of self-forgiveness and also with unconditional love and light?
Yes.
Okay, what does that look like?
It looks like I am removing a knot, like a bunch of wet hair that has grown, a malignant tumor-like hair I'm removing from her solar plexus area. And I'm taking this softball size knot out, giving it to the Creator. And I am filling her with liquid love, forgiveness, self-love, joy, peace. And I'm going to seal that hole with a golden thread. And I'm going to pack it full with cotton candy love. Mm. It is done.
Hmm. That was lovely. Thank you. Does she have a lack mentality? And if yes, would it benefit her to have you download Creator's definition of abundance into her and tell us what that looks like?
Yes. Okay. This one's deep. This one is in her throat, going down to her heart. And it's like a hook. And it was placed there falsely by others around her who made her feel less than, unworthy of abundance. And I'm asking Creator now if we can, yes, we can fill her with so much abundance and the knowledge of what goes with it. And it looks like a golden computer chip that is like 3.5 inches by 2 inches. And it slides right into the place right behind her neck where the hook was. And it feels good and light. And there is no worry, there is no doubt, there is no fear. There is only knowing that no matter what, all will be taken care of for the greatest and highest good and love. Abundance in all things, not only monetary, but abundance in joy, in love, in life, in happiness. It is done.
Thank you for that. Would it also benefit her to have you download the program into her of I know what it feels like to be abundant?
Yes.
What does that look like?
That actually is another chip that goes along with this. And I'm plugging it in right now. And it's like a circuit. And it goes, radiates from the top of her head all the way down from her crown to her root chakra, and it goes with that flow of energy so that there's never a lack of abundance in any area of her. And it feels electric.
Mm.
And that is done.
Okay. Would it also benefit her to have you download the program into her of I know how to live my life with the understanding and full belief that I am abundant?
Yes.
What does that look like?
That actually looks like a separate, unique book. Oh my goodness. The golden book. We're going to store it in her mind, in her head.
Say it again.
So that we're going to store it in her mind, in her head, so that she never forgets. This is going to be magical for her.
Mm.
And it does feel very much like a warm, soothing, electric glow in her head. At the base of her skull. It gives a warm sensation all the way down her spine. And it looks like honey. It is done.
Can you download Creator's definition of an exquisite life and the belief in her that she deserves to live an exquisite life?
Yes,
What does that look like?
that's going to fill her aura. And it looks like a download of like a shower, like just a shower that is cleansing her aura, and it is filling it up at the same time. It is not heavy. It is just being filled. Like little butterflies all over in her auric field. Fluttering, happy, joyous. And that is done.
And switching gears, she uses food as an emotional crutch and stuffs her feelings with food. What is the root cause of this? Can you show it to her? Heal that root cause, pull it, and then replace it with Creator's definition of a healthy relationship with food and tell us what that looks like as you do it?
Yes. Yes. I have found it in her. She was 6 years old and she got this stuck in her head. She didn't like meat. And she was forced to eat it. And she felt sick to her stomach eating an animal. And when she was forced to eat it, she was literally strapped to a chair and forced to eat it because she was anemic. So since then, she's neglected and always felt horrible about mealtime. So she tries to get through it as fast as possible. And anytime she feels negative feelings, she eats. So let me replace that with the Creator's version. And you don't have to eat meat anymore. I'm removing a part of her stomach that has a compartment holding the meat she's not wanting to eat. I'm removing that part and I'm replacing it with a new part. And I'm putting love and light there. And she is healing. She will now have a healthy relationship. And an inner knowing that it's okay to eat what she wants, what she likes, and not have anyone else tell her what is good or bad for her. She will only eat when she's hungry and only to sustain how she feels. She will be eating like a kid again, a few bites here and there, and living in joy. It is done.
Is there anything she needs to do on an ongoing basis to change her relationship with food and have an addiction to eating mindfully? Could you install a program in her that helps her with this, like maybe downloading an addiction to eating healthy and mindfully? Tell us what that looks like. Is that possible?
Yes, anything is possible. Let me do that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, this program is going to go right here in her throat. She's going to taste with her taste buds. It's going to be, she will stop eating when she is full. She will eat slowly. We will make it mindful eating. And she will not wake up famished. She will have water to sustain her hunger, and this will be good for her. She is to bless the water before she drinks it and thank the water before she drinks it. Water is alive, it is living, and it will sustain her and love her back. It's important not to eat anything in the microwave. That kills the water. It is done.
Does she drink enough water?
No.
Can you give her an addiction to water?
I did.
Oh, okay. Okay. To healthy. You gave it for health, eating healthy and mindfully, and for water, right?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. So what is the best diet for her to be eating for her best health and that her body wants and needs?
Vegetarian for her.
Okay. What about any vitamins, supplements, herbs, anything like that? Does her body want anything like that?
Vitamin B12, vitamin D, glucosamine, and vitamin E.
Okay. And switching gears, does she have strong, healthy, personal boundaries in all areas of her life now, or is there room for improvement?
There is room for improvement.
What does that look like for her? Like, can you give her a plan she can implement and maybe some examples, please?
Yes, what we're going to do is we're going to give her the program to install proper boundaries to allow her to tell people no as a complete sentence and not allow anyone to take advantage of her. And we're going to install this in her throat chakra. It's going to be a filter. And it will not be harsh. It will not be rude, but it will be honest. And it will take from her heart and head 2 separate channels, and it will come out. So whatever she's thinking or feeling won't be from the heart. It will be from her ability to be able to do whatever they need or not need. So if she can't do it, she will spit out, sorry, I can't help you with that. But with her heart, it will say, but we can refer you to this. So both will be allowed to speak one truth. They will no longer fight each other. It will be one truth.
Okay, got it.
And that is done.
I had some questions here about her son, Andrew, again, and I guess I could add this one to it, kind of going back and talking about him. Is there anything else she could know about that whole situation of her son, Andrew, taking his own life, about that whole situation that might give her more clarity and understanding and peace about it that you haven't already talked about?
No. She fully is going to be aware and in the understanding and knowing that everything is as it is supposed to be right here, right now.
Was that a death door that her son gave himself in his pre-birth plan?
Yes.
Okay. Can you balance and upgrade her third eye chakra and tell us what that looks like as you do it, and then tell us how that will help her with her gifts and talents?
Yes. It is fairly balanced. I will upgrade it. And what this is going to do is that she's going to be able to see more because she sees people during readings, but she's going to be able to see them more and more. More clearly, more like looking at other people in the room instead of just a shadow or just a face. Her gifts will greatly improve.
give her a top-down Kundalini awakening. Can you do that for her now and describe for us what that looks like as you do it, and tell us how that will change things for her? Like, what will she notice or be able to do afterwards that she could not do or do as well prior to getting this top-down Kundalini awakening?
Okay. That's actually how she awakened, was the Kundalini top-down, meaning all higher chakras came before anything else. So let me go through them all. And basically, I'm just cleaning it out. Kind of imagine like you're cleaning out gunk out of an air conditioning system. So we're just kind of letting that all go. And we're freeing her from any blocks that are in the way, little pieces of stuff she doesn't no longer any need. Whoa. And we're coming down chakras one by one, clearing old energies, getting things ramped up again. And what's going to happen is she will be able to instantly connect to any and all energies or passed over entities. And she'll be able to clear just by thoughts. There was a lot of gunk in the sacral chakra. Her creativity had been blocked. She is very grounded. Solar plexus is much better after the session of healing she's had. Heart chakra, fully opened, no walls, no anger, no grief, no pain, just full understanding and love, unconditional love. Her throat chakra, no longer bound by kindness and having to please others. It is fully opened and charged. Third eye is upgraded. Now it's fully integrated. And her crown, the glorious crown, has always been open. It is done.
She has people coming to her and wanting to work with her in droves, saying that their guides have told them that they're going to work with her. Why are all these people coming to her now? And is she meant to work with all of them in some capacity? Or what can you do to, let's say, straighten out this ball of yarn so she can make some sense out of it and move forward with those that she may be meant to partner with?
They are attracted to her light. It burns very brightly. They're around her and they love how it feels. There's a genuine authenticity with her light, and they all want to be around it. She will work with those whom she chooses, though she is to be careful and discern who is worthy of the time and effort. They must be in full alignment with her divine purpose.
Is anyone who has approached her at this point, do any of those meet this criteria?
No.
Okay. So she doesn't need to waste her time, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And for this next question, we thought this would be fun. Are you able to call in a team of extra counsel right now from other guides in the spirit realm who are super, super successful business people? We're talking like Henry Ford type level or above, who can join us now for this question. Are you all able to look at Mrs. Smith's business, where it is now, where you, her higher self, and all of you see it going, and have all of you give her a business roadmap for what it looks like for her to take it from here to there, giving us detail and specific advice and examples?
Yes, we are here. What we see is a pathway to a much larger picture. She is going to be internationally known. She is going to move mountains. She's going to heal thousands. Her roadmap is being played out, and her writing will take her there. She's still growing, and she's still growing, and this is being made brick by brick. She is a master builder. What she is here to do is incredible for mankind. This is the reason so many souls want to partner with her.
And so, what is the next brick she's meant to lay?
Her third book.
What about the brick after that?
We will not speak of that, for it is not in her greatest and highest good to share that with everyone.
Okay. Would you like me to turn the recording off so you can just tell her?
We've implanted it in her.
Oh, okay. Any other advice this team would give her about her business?
Yes. Many will want to follow on your coattails. Many will come to say how they know you. And there will be many watching. Be mindful to be in a presence of kindness. Be mindful to love those around you and make time for them, for it is going to happen quickly.
Is there anything you can do or that needs to be done in order to align her energetically to this divine purpose that she has?
It is done.
Okay. And asking that whole team again, what would it take for her to explode in her ability to be able to create this life that she wants?
Follow your heart. Allow your writing guides more time. And just believe that you are where you are supposed to be, right here, right now. And nothing happens overnight.
Mm. So you mentioned writing guides. Can anyone call in writing guides when they want to write a book or something like that?
Absolutely. And what happens is no matter what you start doing, so you don't have to call them in necessarily, but when you start a new trade or you start a new hobby, if you want to play guitar, you automatically get new guides that come to help you.
Mm.
So we always have resources, but when we are aware of those resources, we can ask for more guidance and more help. And we also have to be mindful that when we want something, we always ask for ease and grace. Some of our guides have never been human. So when we ask them to turn up the volume, they don't know how high our ears can handle it.
Mm. Got it. Fun. Is there anything currently in her auric field that could potentially become a health issue if it's not identified and resolved or removed? And if yes, what is that?
In her auric field, tend to hang out the loved ones who have passed on from others that don't know how to get back after communicating, like the newest souls or people that want to make contact but don't know how to reach their loved ones. Their loved ones won't talk back to them or won't get the clue.
Mm-hmm.
So they hang out in her field, and all that dead energy isn't good for her.
Mm.
So let's be more mindful of clearing it with salt baths, with prayer, and with Reiki. Additionally, I would like to remove it right now.
Yes.
Okay. And this actually feels like the biggest vacuum you've ever seen. And we're putting it around her aura, and she's being sealed in a tube of light so that nothing can be around her as we cleanse the aura, removing any energies, entities, cords, attachments, any dead energies, any curious energies. We are instantly removing them from her auric fields. And she is still in a tube of light, and her aura is clean and clear, vibrant, healthy, no holes, rips, tears, nothing. It is solid. All of it intact, pristine, and beautiful. It is done.
Okay. Does she need to do that to herself on a regular basis?
Yes.
Pull in that big vacuum cleaner?
Yes, that will help
Okay.
a lot.
Okay. Like every time she's done with a reading, or just every day in general?
If she does it once a week, she's going to be good.
Okay. What are some of her current beliefs that are causing problems or blockages in her life?
She has believed that she is unworthy. In the past, she has believed she is not worthy of her gifts.
Does she believe that now?
Yes. She knows now.
No, meaning does she still hold those same beliefs that she's unworthy and that she's not worthy of her gifts?
No, she now knows they were false beliefs.
Okay. So does she have any current beliefs that are causing problems or blockages in her life?
No, not anymore.
Okay. Okay. Is her vagus nerve operating optimally and in perfect health? And if not, are you able to heal, strengthen, and balance her vagus nerve so it is operating optimally? And if yes, can you tell us what that looks like?
Okay, I'm feeling it right now.
Okay.
Okay. There is an unsteady rhythm with it, so let me fix that.
Okay.
Let me just apply like a battery cable-like thing to it, jolt it, strengthen it, empower it. It is now electric, functioning at 90%, and it will grow to 100% the more work she does, and the more she gets down to a healthier weight, but she will never go below 88%.
Okay.
That is done.
Okay. Is she fully in her power, or is there something more she could do to be fully in her power?
She is fully in her power now.
Okay. So when someone's higher self is asked in a session like this to give them a particular healing, people ask me, why does it take asking in order to get the healing? And why can't the higher self just do it automatically without having to be asked? That's what people want to know. What can you say?
It is all about free will. Boils down to free will. Much like your guardian angels can watch over you, like you're watching over your kids. The only difference is your kids are playing in the street. We'll go get them. Your guardian angels and your guides, your higher self, they will watch you run amok unless you surrender and you ask for their help. And you have to consciously ask them for help, for healing. That is exactly why. And in life, as you plan each life, imagine if you have a bowling alley. You have the bumper guards up. You're going down. Yes, it's going to take the ball longer to get to the end with the guards on it. And no, it can't fall in the gutter. But there are certain things and places where you're destined to go. So whether you go off or not, off the beaten path, you are still going to get to your destination. And then you can review and see what you've accomplished, what you need to keep learning or do differently next time.
And are there any other messages that you want to share with her before we end this session?
Yes. You are divinely protected. You are so loved. And I thank you for coming and asking to speak to me.
If she takes all the information from this session and incorporates it into her life, how will her life be different going forward compared to what it would have been like had she not done this session?
She probably would have had to come back and deal with additional grief from the loss of her son. She could have held on to the grief from her mother and caused a karmic bond. But now that she is free of that, she will live her greatest and highest good. Her life will be as it's supposed to be. Her healing just got sped up immensely. So basically, this is like the bumper cars or the bumpers on the bowling alley were just 3 times as big, and there were many less paths to get lost on.
You mean it kind of illuminated her pathway a little bit more?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else you want to share with her before we end this session, or are we good to end this session?
Keep writing, and we can end the session.
Okay. Great. Okay. Love to hear first impressions. What was that like for you?
It was interesting. It actually was neat. I don't remember all of it. I remember bits and pieces. Is that normal?
You were
Okay.
the in-betweener I talked about. Kind
Oh,
of
okay.
fading
Yes.
in and out, coming in and out. Okay.
Yes. So I do remember parts of it, but like in the beginning, it felt like just like you said, like I was in the background and I was like, shut up. Shut up. And like another voice was talking about like the stuff and whatever country that was. It was weird. The past life thing was kind of like, oh my God. So I'm just like in amazement, like all that stuff. And then I just kept saying, shut up, you're gonna ruin it. And you're like, oh yeah, well, you're just making this up. I'm like, shut up.
Right, you're telling your ego to shut up, right? Yeah, the one
Yes,
that tries to
yes,
sabotage the session, right? Yeah.
yes, yes. And well, when you had first talked about that, I thought, oh, that's not gonna happen. And it did. It was just
That's
amazing. It
why I
was
say
just,
it.
yes. And I'm glad you did. And so
It
I
happens
know
to
that,
me, and I do this all the time, and it still happens to me when I put myself under. It's like, how do you quiet that? The ego is always trying to poke its nose in there, you know?
yeah, but it was intense. There's a lot of stuff. I'm anxious to get like the gist of it, the things that helped. And I noticed like when, you know, can you do this? I would just like I was like, well, I'd wake up and be like, oh, what do you mean it's done? What did you do? So that was really interesting for me. So it's like I was there, but I wasn't. And like I would fade in and out.
So when they were actually doing the psychic surgery, they just pushed you out of the way, and then
They
they let
did.
you come back and listen once they said, okay, it's done.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was really kind of intense, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh," but it was neat, so I can't wait to see exactly what was done. It's like, okay, I know it's there, but it's like I don't have it yet, but I do,
Right.
but
Right.
I'm being
Yeah.
told you
So,
do, so
yeah. So when you go to listen to this, like I told you, the client that I had who listens to it every night when she goes to bed, I mean, you can do it when you're awake too, of course, a number of times, but even doing it while you're sleeping. I mean, I can't imagine it just wouldn't like just get deeper and deeper and deeper into your subconscious. Like, yep, this was done to me. This surgery was done. I'm healed from that. This is gone. Right?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I'm so
Wow.
glad.
So any other impressions? Like anything coming to mind right now about the experience
Yes.
or anything you remember? Okay.
I do remember the analogy with the bowling. So it doesn't matter. It's like they're just gonna keep going and then, what did you get out of this? It kind of lighted up everything. Okay. And what I thought was interesting was um when somebody said or they said, she already has that information. It's not for everyone to know. I'm like, what?
Right.
Like, that's weird. That's what this is for, right? You would think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Then I
that
said, how about if I turn the recording off? Nope, we downloaded it in her. I was like, okay.
Oh,
So just
okay.
set the intention when you're listening to it. You know what I mean? That it'll just
Yes.
become more apparent because it was the brick after writing the next book, right? Writing the third book.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, what's the brick after that? Because you're building it brick by brick, right? So what's the next brick? I was going to keep going on. Okay, what's the brick after that? What's the brick after that?
Yeah.
And it's like, nope, we're stopping it after the first brick. Okay.
Thanks.
So I highlighted a few things. So here for this life, your lessons from your
Mm-hmm.
pre-birth plan, patience, right? That's why you ended
Okay.
up with the mom you did and the dad you did, because your
Oh my
dad was helping you by being an example of patience,
Oh, yes.
right? That
Oh,
was
I got
insane.
chills.
Do you remember the part about your dad? Like that answered so many questions, right? Like how did he end up staying with a woman like that, with your mother? Like he'd make the sacrifice if it meant him being able to have a family.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh. And what freaked me out where I almost like was like I couldn't handle it. Like when they tell you can't handle the truth.
Right.
Right. Finding out that I recognized Andrew from a previous life and what had happened. I was just like, oh, seriously,
Right. That
that's
you
like,
choked him to death in your previous
yeah,
life, right?
right? Yeah, just, it's
Yeah.
amazing. And I don't know, can't explain it. It's kind of like, I don't know. This is what it must feel like to get a reading.
Right? Your higher
Oh,
self is
I don't,
telling you, yeah,
right?
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's amazing.
So patience, forgiveness, and gratitude. It sounds like you got the gratitude thing down because when you were telling me in the intake portion that your mom on her deathbed, twice you thought she was on her deathbed once, but then she really was on her deathbed. But both times you went to her and thanked her and told her that you held nothing against her. So the forgiveness and the
Yeah.
gratitude were like so there.
Yeah. So hopefully got it right this time.
Yeah, it
We'll
says there's
see.
no more karma. There's no more karma between the two of you. So that's amazing, right?
Yes, you're right. And
That
you
was
know what?
good news.
Yes, and I had to get to that point to be able to make that phone call and to see her and say that and feel it. I feel like I had to do that, and that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise you would have carried that karma.
Yeah.
Um, so Jesus came. Do you remember Jesus coming?
No.
Yeah. So is there anything she learned from past lives as a healer that would benefit her to know in this lifetime to help her with her destiny that you could energetically connect her to that wisdom and that knowledge? Yes. Could you build that connection now? Yes, I'm showing her Jesus. And I'm asking Jesus to tell her, remember, they hated me first. That touched you. I can see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah. She understands this.
Oh, I do now. Yeah, got it.
And I
Yep.
said, and that is a parallel to her family hating her now, right? Your higher self said, yes. Right?
Yeah.
And then I said, can we have Jesus hug her and comfort her and give her the love she's not receiving from her family? Yes. And then I paused. I let you feel it. And then I said, did she like that? And your higher self said, she loves it.
Yay. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, downloading Creator's definition of self-love, I'm downloading a message of Creator's love and self-love into her and filling her with a golden rose of white light in her heart, taking out any shadows, grief, pain, any feeling of unworthiness, so that her pure light and love can show from inside out and be a reflection of the one love that we all are.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Right?
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes.
You're like, did I say that? Right?
Right? Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She's wiping
Yeah.
tears, everybody who can't see her face.
Yeah.
She's wiping tears. Would it also benefit her to have you download the program into her of, I know what it feels like to fully love myself? Yes, it looks like ribbons coming down, bright blue light ribbons, just all around her, embracing her, holding her so tight, just enveloping and enveloping your higher self, enveloping her with the love that she so longed for as a child. And she is being soaked completely in every bone, muscle, and organ with peace, joy, and beautiful self-love. It's never ending. It's done.
Oh my God. That's beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
So to increase your self-love in your daily life, smile more. Okay.
Okay.
Laugh things off. And this is where, so my team is always talking to me because I try to learn a lot from other people's sessions too. And I'm like, how do I measure up against that? Am I okay in that area? Like if your higher self is downloading, hey, can you give me some of that too? Like I'll talk to my team. I'm talking to my team the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So when your higher self said laugh things off, my team was like, oh yeah, you're good at that one, Tracy. Because I am constantly laughing everything off in my life. Like I just do not take life seriously, like too seriously. I just don't. Like I laugh at everything. My dog was walking, swung around to try to play with me, swung around and he's a big husky. So he swung around in a circle and that fast he went under my feet and I was laying on my back like that. And I was just like, all I could do was laugh. Like,
That's
who would have thought? Like, that's so funny. And other people might be really mad at their dog, but I was laughing hysterically, like, oh my gosh, Tracy, only you. Like, look at that, so funny. Good thing nobody saw that. It's dark out. Because it had to look so silly.
I'd be afraid my husky would tell.
Oh, but yeah, so my team is like, no, Tracy, you're good at that one. But then you're to do this, because when you laugh things off, you don't take things so seriously. And that was what you were told, not to take things so seriously.
Yes.
Take a rest when you need to. Listen to your body, right? Take a rest.
Yeah.
More walks in the sunshine and taking care of our human body. How does taking care of our human body show love to ourselves? Our cells will reproduce more healthy when we make better choices when it comes to not only what we eat, but how we eat, including the quality of what we're eating and being aware of what you are eating and having gratitude.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So these are things I highlighted. Would it benefit her? Creator's definition of worthiness. It looks like, oh, I like this. Sparks of energy coming into her in a stream, like a rainbow all at once, filling her with different colors of sparks. starting at her feet and going up and up and up, filling her so full. I got to change that. Filling her so full with the sparks of self-worthiness and love. They are overflowing all around her. Give me 1 second.
It's okay.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. My son came in looking for the dog, and I think the dog's still over at his girlfriend's house. My husband has a girlfriend, long-term girlfriend. They're in a committed relationship. They have play dates all the time. Okay. So the sparks, okay? Then I said, with this question, tell me if it's possible, if it's not possible, because maybe it would have interfered with her lessons and experiences, but you said you filled her up with sparks of self-worthiness. Can you take some of those sparks that are overflowing and multiply them and go give them to her when she was a little girl, and maybe kind of ball them up into a little ball or something of energy and implant it in her, maybe like as a jewel in her or something like that, so she can have that energy in her as a little girl? Yes. All of them that were overflowed, that are still sparkling, and they never fell to the floor. Not fell to the floor, fell to the floor. Excuse my typos in this, by the way.
That's okay.
That never fell to the floor. We picked up any extras from her aura, and we're taking universal light energy, melding it into a key and putting that key in her heart. And on it, there is a garnet jewel, and it is there, and we are giving it to her at age 3.
Oh my gosh. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So putting it in her heart. So you must still have that key in there, because your higher self never said anything about taking it out. So you have a key in there with a garnet jewel on it. That is the energy of worthiness.
Oh, gosh.
You like that?
I love that. I love that.
And then what would it take, or what healing does she need in order to move forward in her life without carrying trauma with her from her past? She does not need anything. Everything is already within her. She just has to reach it. How does she reach it? By asking. Asking who? She will meditate on it, and I will give it to her. Is that true for most people who carry trauma? Yes. Is it as simple as asking? And knowing that it will be removed. It is only in the mind. The trauma is only in the mind. Right? Because we're not living in the trauma now, right?
Yeah.
It's only in the mind. And from the mind, it infects the body.
Oh my gosh.
Once you ask with your mind and you consciously meditate on it, it will surface and it will easily fade away, just like your breath.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome, right?
That is very awesome. Yes.
You got so many jewels in this. Let me just tell you. When someone's higher self is asked in a session like this to give them a particular healing, why do people on TikTok want to know, why does it take asking in order to get the healing? Why can't type? Why can't I type? Why can't their higher self just do it for them? It's all about free will. It boils down to free will, like your guardian angels can watch over you like you watch over your kids. The difference is the kids play in the street, we go get them, but our team watches us run amok and lets you surrender and ask for their help consciously. As you plan each life, imagine a bowling alley. You talked about the bowling alley thing. Imagine a bowling alley with the bumper guards up. It takes the ball longer to get down to the end with the guards, but there are certain places you are destined to go. So whether you go off the beaten path or not, you will get to the destination. You can then review what you have accomplished or need to learn or do differently next time.
Wow.
And then if you take all the information from this session, do you remember what your higher self said? How will your life be different?
No.
She probably would have had to come back and deal with additional grief from the loss of her son. She could have held on to the grief from her mother and caused a karmic bond, but now she's free of that. She will live her greatest and highest good, and her healing just got sped up immensely. So basically, this is like the bumpers on the bowling alley. 3 times as big and many less paths to get lost on. I said it kind of it kind of illuminated her pathway a little bit more. Absolutely, absolutely. Want to see? Here, Shadow, say hi.
Oh,
Say
hi,
hi.
Shadow.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, she's so pretty. This is my baby. Yes, I know you always have to say hi when you're gone somewhere. Yeah. So, and keep writing.
Okay.
I wrote anything else? Yes. Keep writing.
Okay.
Go back. What do you think about all that? Now that you heard a little bit, you have a lot more to read. You got a lot of information in your session. You have 16 pages of notes.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
think
you
it's
got a lot.
incredible. It's incredible. I am so grateful. Thank you so much. You know, I when I booked way back when I did not dream that it would be this moving, this profound, or this connected to my heart. But I thank you so much.
I'm so glad you did it, right?
I am, and I want to share it with the world, and I want everyone to have this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Think it'll
do.
change your life?
Absolutely. It already has.
Oh, it was so amazing working with you. I
This
had a
was
wonderful day with you. It went fast, didn't it?
It did, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And I will end the recording.